Say one.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Great Skeptic. I'm your host, Great Skeptic.
Say one.
All right. Hello, everyone.
No, hold on. Whoa.
Yep.
Did you forget to do something there, Mac?
Yeah, I did. I do that most of the time, though. People expect that at this point. I'm not good at keeping up with the live chat, and I usually forget to mute myself on YouTube. I'm here with Ben from BMillzebub. Say hi, Ben.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Oh, and then no one says anything back. You guys are real nice. Anyway,
so inconsiderate.
So inconsiderate. No standing ovation or anything. So we're here for another Atheist Flashback, number 26. If you guys haven't seen it, the last one was with a newer YouTube called Sassy Atheist. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. Next week, I'll have Ex-Cult Baby, the Jehovah's Witness. So she'll be here next Tuesday at 10:30. So everyone knows what's going on in Atheist Flashback recently. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Ben was a Catholic growing up. How long were you a Catholic? Practicing?
Well, okay, so I'm trying to think of a way to answer this. Because obviously I was raised Catholic, but I didn't really take it seriously when I was a little kid. And when I started to approach my teenage years, I didn't like I started drifting towards being an atheist. And once I got into high school, I was eligible to go into my church's youth group. So my parents made me do that because they weren't about to have an atheist in their house, which is ironic now, but
right.
So after that, I started going to the group. I started, making actual friends, and found a social group, a pretty supportive social group actually, and I started to really go down the rabbit hole. You know the phrase "no zealot like the converted." Are you familiar with that?
I don't think so. I don't think I know that one.
Oh, well, there's this saying that's no zealot like the converted, and I kind of consider myself being converted to Catholicism because up until then I didn't really give a shit about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean there.
Yeah, so I kind of became a zealot, and by kind of became a zealot, I mean I became that guy. So yeah, that is my story in a minute, basically.
Fair enough. All right, well that's the show. All right, thanks everyone for coming.
Woohoo!
Fastest show ever. Good night.
Yeah, 4 minutes. That's a record.
Hot dog. So I guess to extend this just a little longer. Ben, come back. That being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to the fun portion, and we're going to make you a Catholic again, because that's what I do. If anyone has any fun things,
scapular. Does anyone have a rosary? This is important, people. Hopefully, all of you have seen my video on this thing, the scapular, already.
If you haven't, catch up.
You need to. It's an informative video.
Yeah. All right. So, Ben, you are a Catholic again. And the first question I like to ask, if you don't already know, it's the most important question, the one everyone really wants to know, is you're a Catholic. Are you allowed to drink?
Yeah, of course I'm allowed to drink. I just can't drink to get drunk. And even if I do, all I have to do is go to confession and be like, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I got drunk." And then it'll make me do like a Hail Mary or some shit.
Gotcha. And you're allowed to curse, I take it?
No, but once again, confessional.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
Beautiful thing, really.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel like it's forgiveness on credit or something like that. Does that make sense?
How dare you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
This my camera's going out.
I see
This
that.
is I will fix it. This is my religion. You are insulting, sir, the Holy Roman Catholic Church. How dare you?
I mean, you know, I'm gonna try to bite my tongue just a little bit more during this interview. I didn't mean to offend you. So we're gonna start at the beginning, and I've really been wanting a devout Catholic such as yourself on here for a while because I really want to know what Genesis looks like to you. Because from my understanding, Catholics, they don't see the same beginning of creation as many other Christians do. So can you kind of walk me through what happened in the eight days of creation, just vaguely, quickly?
Well, I mean, it's 6 days of creation, and then God took a nap.
Right.
But yeah, no, Catholics, we don't. Okay, if it's not in the Gospels, we look at it as what's the word I'm looking for here? Allegory. It's a metaphor. It's meant to, teach a lesson.
Okay.
I am really trying to figure out this camera thing, and it's not happening. So I think you're all stuck without my beautiful face, unfortunately. By the way, pride is a sin in the Catholic Church, but confessional.
How many sins can you commit tonight?
Nothing that can't be reversed by going to confession, which I've also done a video on my hedonistic heathen devil channel. I mean, you see the channel logo there. I got devil horns on my head.
There is that. There is that.
Ultimate Satan.
I have BMillzebub's channel link down in the description below, so you guys all know.
All right, I fixed it. You got me back.
All right, now we're back, and now you don't look like a devil talking.
No, I look like a good Catholic Christian man.
Well, I mean, if you ask a lot of other religious folk, that's what most Catholics actually look like.
White, bearded, male.
Yeah.
The ones that matter are male anyway.
Horns.
Oh.
Because, I mean,
those people are all sinners and they're ignorant of the truth of the Catholic Church. Okay, it's just.
So what is it? What makes the Catholic faith like superior to other Christian faiths? What is it?
It's the first organized Christian church in world history. Prior to that, there were like a smattering of not really connected Christian churches, and the Catholic Church is what united them all. The whole One Ring thing that the joke isn't readily coming to me for. But yeah, I mean, we get pretty much everything through divine revelation, and the Bible's great, but this is where the real doctrine comes from. So.
Okay. So have you always been a Catholic, or did you have to convert?
Well, I mean, I sort of think that in a way I converted because, once again, when I was younger, I didn't really care. I should have, and that was really not good of me. And I mean, I have been to the confessional, and God's cool with it. So he understood that I was a kid.
So God's pretty understanding through and through, right? Like if you ask for forgiveness, and as long as you're honest with him about what's going on with your life, he's pretty much a pretty cool broseph.
Well, it's more Dadsif than Brosif because not my brother, my father.
Okay. Take a drink.
It's been so long since I've blasphemously done the sign of the cross. I mean, not blasphemy because I'm actually Catholic now.
Yes. So, all right. So going from there, or leaving that there and going back a little bit, because I do want to talk about Lilith. Really, can you tell us about Lilith? Was that part of your Catholic faith that there's Adam and Lilith?
Actually, no. The big thing is Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. I mean,
Oh, okay.
hang on. I just tried to switch topics there. No, it's Adam and Eve. Actually, I didn't know anything about Lilith until some not Catholic friend of mine said something about Lilith.
Really?
Yeah, not a clue. I actually still don't know too much about Lilith.
Okay.
But I hear someone has a pretty good video. I want to say Jen with one N, but I could be wrong.
Okay. I think you're right. I think I've seen it on there, but I'm not sure. That said, so there was Adam and Eve. Do you believe that God actually took a physical rib to make Eve? Or is that part of the allegory?
No, once again, it's just allegory, right? The way the Catholic Church looks at it, there may not have been Adam and Eve or actual literal Garden of Eden on Earth, but there was some ancient event where man fell from grace. You know, it just isn't. It's not the whole Garden of Eden thing.
Okay. So you think just there was a big group of people who kind of fell from grace, or angels, or what's their
Well,
view?
every angel that fell from grace had already fallen from grace with the rebellion in heaven, and they were cast down for good reason.
Okay. When was this rebellion in heaven?
Sometime before the fall of man. Is the common belief among Catholics, even though this isn't technically true, is that I don't know why they go back to the Garden of Eden, because that wasn't an actual thing that happened according to the Catholics. Us Catholics, I keep slipping up. It's this devil path I've been walking for the last several years. But no, a lot of people falsely believe that it was Satan that took the form of a snake. But that's not the case. I mean, even if you go back to Revelation, or go forward, I should say, to Revelations, where it says that old snake, it's not made clear that it's talking about the snake from the Garden of Eden. Just, it could be like a colloquialism, like how the number 40 for the ancient Jews was kind of an idiom for a really long time. Like 40 days and 40 nights. It was a really long time. It's an idiom.
Yeah.
So that old snake could just be another way of saying that backstabber, Satan, who stabbed his father in the back.
Okay. So since the Adam and Eve narrative's pretty much just allegory for you, do you believe in evolution?
I don't believe in evolution. I accept it. This actually is. Ooh, the head's getting a little overboard there. See, you actually do want a little head on a beer, but not too much that it overflows on the glass like I just did on accident. But I'm sorry, what was the question again?
I was asking what your view on evolution is.
Okay. Well, as far as evolution goes, it happened. And is happening because it's like learning, it's an ongoing process. It doesn't stop. So it's happening. I'm not like those weird young Earth creationists that I'm not one of those young Earth creationists that says God did it in 6 literal days, because without the sun, there is no way to tell how long a day is, because the way we measure a day is by, how quickly the Earth spins around.
Okay.
So that's a big part of why the whole creation story found in Genesis is, not real. It's a story ancient people told each other. But yeah, I am an old Earth creationist. I believe that God created the universe about 14 billion years ago and created the Earth about 4.5 billion years ago. And he just guided everything, all of evolution up until this point where we, the pinnacle of his creation, are here.
Okay. So what's your thoughts on why it took so much time?
Well, I think God wanted the universe to look natural for us and not some ridiculous fairy tale. You know what I mean? Look, okay, so look at it this way. The word Israel, which is also the name of a country, incidentally, it means to strive with God. And Catholics, in our own way, take that to heart. So we struggle with what skeptics would say is the total lack of evidence for God. But I mean, come on, without God, we wouldn't be here. It's called the prime mover argument.
Okay.
Or the unmoved mover.
Yes. Okay. And so he wanted everything to look natural. So the only way to do that is to make it be natural, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise,
you'd have all this evidence of natural progress of the universe and of the planet, of life on this planet. And, part of it is a test to take things on faith. Catholics, we do accept the part of the Bible, which actually is the book of James, that says not only by your faith, but also good works. So faith is important, but you need good works. And actually, that's the way the Catholic Church even will allow heathens like you into heaven if you live a good life.
Gotcha. So, do I even need to ask for forgiveness or anything like that before that, or
you should.
Should.
Of course, if you blaspheme against the Holy Spirit, you're screwed. That is the one unforgivable thing that Jesus mentioned. So just don't do that and you're able to get in.
I talked to Sassy about this last week. So I'd like you to clarify, if you would, from your perspective, what all does that entail, blasphemy?
Well, I agree with what the Catholic Church, actually the Catechism right here, has to say about blasphemy, which is, you just don't blaspheme against God. Sure, you can go to the confessional, but once again, if you blaspheme against the Holy Spirit, you're just kind of screwed with your pants on.
It's my least favorite kind of screwed.
Yeah. So it's like dry humping, but you don't get the finish. But yeah, I went there. But you also can't blaspheme against the church itself, the saints, or holy relics. So you can't insult any of those.
Gotcha. So you just can't insult them. You don't even have to say like.
Just don't say anything bad about the Catholic Church.
Okay.
Really.
Would that count as blasphemy? Just calling out anything I don't like about the Catholic Church?
Yeah, pretty much. If you do something that does damage to the church, you blaspheme against it.
Okay, and that can send you to hell unequivocally. It's a thing.
I mean, once again, it's just against the Holy Spirit that's unequivocal. There's no forgiveness for it. But blaspheme against the Catholic Church, the relics, saints, or God Himself is actually against one of the 10 Commandments and is therefore a mortal sin. So you may not be so okay if you've done that.
Aren't all sins mortal?
No, actually, only the ones remarked upon in the 10 Commandments, and the one against the Holy Spirit counts as blasphemy, which is one of the commandments. So yeah, you're all good. Just don't do that.
Okay. Can you get forgiven for murder or adultery?
Yeah, if you go through the confessional. Yeah, of course.
Okay. But not blasphemy.
Not against the Holy Spirit. I mean, you can blaspheme against the Father and the Son and get away with it, but not the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
It's 3 dudes in 1.
Okay. 3 dudes in 1.
And don't you dare make the obvious schizophrenia joke.
I wouldn't dream of it. So
Good.
This is something that so what confuses me more than the Trinity is where do you get this information that kind of tells you what you can go to confession and like be forgiven for, and that you can't be for blaspheming the Holy Spirit?
Okay. Well, I mean, you can get all of this straight from the Bible, right? So, I mean, one of the commandments is, "Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain." That is blasphemy. And I can't for the life of me remember where it says this in the Bible, but Jesus says that you can't blaspheme against the Holy Spirit, but with the Father and the Son, you can get forgiveness. Even though all 3 used to be a offense worth stoning for. Wow, I am losing my place.
I'm sorry. You're good.
So all of that you can find in the Bible, and obviously there's God the Father. When Jesus was dying on the cross, He said, "Father, why have you forsaken me?"
Mm-hmm.
So there's evidence for the Father. Jesus is the Son, obviously.
Yeah.
And the Holy Spirit is also mentioned several times in the Bible. So there's piece of evidence number 3. Checkmate, atheist.
God damn, you got me.
How dare you blaspheme, sir?
I didn't.
I know this is your channel, but come on, be better.
I was telling God
You're
to.
going to hell otherwise. Because my God is love.
If you can convert me, I'll ask for forgiveness. So, so I want to ask you about a few more things in the Old Testament, and then we'll kind of go to the Gospel, which you seem to adhere more to. So, real quick, I want to know about Noah's flood. How literal was that, if at all? Not literal at all?
Not literal.
Was there a flood? Was there an ark? Should there be a replica in Kentucky?
I mean, it's a freedom of religion argument with the Ark encounter. I personally don't agree with it because it's not an actual thing. Most of the Bible, with exception of the Gospels is allegory and metaphor. Okay, it's meant to teach a lesson, right? I mean, there have been local floods that have devastated areas, but I mean, there have been flood myths for pretty much every ancient people. So it makes sense that there's a flood story for the Bible. And you'll note that I said story, not myth, because that other bullshit is myth.
I'm not even going to go into that. But
Don't
okay,
question it.
I understand. The next one is the Exodus. Were the Israelites ever in Egypt, as far as you are
I
concerned?
mean, it makes for a great show of faith, but there's also no anthropological evidence for it. Although a lot of Catholics do believe the Exodus actually happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I know there's a lot, and I'm not really sure. So, what kind of Catholic are you? Is that even a question I can ask? Like, because from what I know, it's a pretty big organization, and they're pretty tight on what you believe. A little bit like Jehovah's Witnesses. Like you have the Catechism, right? So,
Of
is there
course, the
anything
JWs
different
are
about
a cult.
your
The Catholic Church is
Catholicism? Sorry.
not. The JWs are a cult, and the Catholic Church is not. Go on.
Okay. So what I'm looking at more is is there anything special about the kind of Catholic you are compared to others?
I'm gonna say no because I mean, look, I'm just a guy, right? I'm a human being. I'm flawed. I am a sinner like every other human being. I mean, even the Pope is a sinner, but like the Pope, I can get forgiveness too. Because we all fall short.
Yeah. Yes.
So I'm not anything special as far as being Catholic goes.
Okay. Fair enough. So do you have a favorite book in the Old Testament? Is there anything that really actually kind of sticks out to you that you really like, or something in there that seems kind of that you would think is maybe kind of out there, but you think is not allegory, but is true? Is there anything in the Old Testament?
I mean, it's allegory, but I really kind of like the story of Noah's flood, actually, because it shows the righteous vengeance of God and his mercy at the same time. That he just didn't destroy everything. So that shows his mercy, but it also shows his righteous vengeance by killing everyone who deserved it and then subsequently burning them in hell.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, if I was any of them, I really wish he would have done it the other way around. You know,
Well,
fire
they
first.
couldn't have chosen their sinful ways.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess you really just get the worst of it, then, don't you?
Well, I mean, it's what they deserve. I mean, of course, I can't really say they're definitely burning in hell. That's not actually for us to say, by their punishment of being wiped out in the flood, they could be in heaven. I don't know, but I consider it highly likely they're in hell.
Gotcha. And what is hell?
It's a mix of couple things. First off, it's an eternal punishment for crimes done here in life. And second of all, it's a separation from God.
Okay. Is there anything that's really actually burning? Do you know?
I mean, the way I think of it, I think hell would be designed around the sinner. It'd be a personal hell. Because what good is just regular torture? Eventually, you're going to get used to it. It's got to be more personal. That way it hurts more.
Right, and that's what sinners deserve, right?
Yeah, of course.
Unless they're forgiven.
As long as they ask for forgiveness, yeah. But as soon as you get to hell, there is no forgiveness anymore. You're dead. Your chances are gone.
Okay. And then how about and like I'm sure you're asked this a lot, but I really just want to know your opinion on it. What about children who die really young, or babies, or of that sort? Do you believe in a purgatory? Do you believe that they're automatically forgiven because they couldn't ask for forgiveness? What's your thoughts with kids who die young but haven't asked for forgiveness?
It's a mix of a couple of things. First of all, they're innocent. They're totally unaware of their sin. And second of all, they couldn't ask for forgiveness. So, you know what I mean? They automatically go to heaven. Because they had no say, particularly aborted babies. You know what I mean? Because that's a human life there.
And we'll jump into that here in a little bit. We'll touch base back on that. But for now, we've touched base on hell. I'd kind of like to go to the end of the world real quick, because why not just jump ahead? So, what is the end of the world to you, basically? What is Revelations referring to? Do you believe in rapture?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, the rapture is pie in the sky Protestant bullshit. It's a joke. I mean, okay, sure. Eventually, the good will be taken up to heaven, but it's not gonna be like I think it was the movie God's Not Dead, where people just sort of floated up into the air and poof, disappeared, and their clothes fall on the floor. That's ridiculous. But eventually the good will all be in heaven, and the heathens like you and everyone else in the side chat is going to stay here, where it's going to be a hell on earth for 1,000 years.
Okay. So I've had friends.
Enjoy your 1,000 years.
Do I get to stay alive that whole time?
No, you'll live a normal human life, if that.
If that.
Yeah.
No, what if everyone dies before that 1,000 years is up?
They won't.
They won't?
It's already been promised in Revelation. They won't.
Okay. All right. So I've had friends in the past who are fully devoted to God, right? But they don't want to be like raptured up, or they don't want to be taken away before that 1,000-year time span, because they would rather stay here and fight the good fight, and show their worthiness through all the evil to God. What's your thoughts on that?
They would have already shown their faithfulness by being good Christian people. So they would be in heaven. There is no reason a good person should have to endure the hell on earth that'll happen, as shown in Revelation. And this alias fake name, Heathen, wants to know if there will be tacos. Tacos are a good thing. So no, there will not be tacos.
There won't be tacos on Earth?
There will not be tacos on Earth.
During that time, like, wait, God's not taking all the Christians and the tacos with him, right? Because like we have to live a human life, so we'll still have all the ingredients for tacos.
Taking the tacos.
Say what?
The tacos are gone. Just come to terms with it, man. You will, after Revelation begins to happen, you will not have more tacos.
Like he's not even going to leave like shitty tacos.
He might leave tacos as long as they're made with pig shit.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know about this. Like, what is he not taking? Like, are there other foods that are going to be here that are, like cardboard foods, like cheeseburgers or
Well,
what?
I mean, cheeseburgers are artery clogging, and you're gonna die from them. So yeah, you can keep them. Just
Santiago
not Jehovah's Witness person. This former cult member who should come to the light of the Holy Catholic Church wants to know about Elvis. He's already dead, dude. I don't know where he is. I don't know if he's in heaven or hell. I don't make that judgment call.
Elvis is going to come back. And
Elvis could have made a last minute reconciliation with God on the toilet while he was shitting himself to death. We don't know.
Yeah. Nacho Witness wants to know about nachos, and Christy wants to know about pizza real quick before we move on.
That's pizza? I thought that was pie.
Knowing her is probably pizza.
Okay, that's fair. Nachos, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I know Nacho Witness's nickname is Nacho, so he'll stay.
Trying to find out if he was safe. God damn it.
But as far as pizza goes, that's really unhealthy too and leads to more problems than anything else. So they'll probably stay too.
Well, now, come on. Like, Obama dictated that those are vegetables now. So really, they're probably more of a good thing.
Yeah, I know that damn socialist.
Oh, whoa. Oh, did you not like Obama?
Hell no. Obama was just short of the devil.
Just short of the devil. Gotcha. Now, how about Bill Clinton?
Also damn close to the devil. Okay. I mean, come on. We're talking about, okay, first of all, Obama wore a tan suit, okay? And that just can't be allowed to fly. And Bill Clinton got a blowjob in the Oval Office. Those are both terribly unforgivable. Just can't do it.
Gotcha. So well, that leads to this next question then. In Catholicism, are blowjobs okay?
No. Sex that is not both unitive and procreative is not okay. If you're going to have sex, you literally have to be doing it to have children. Also, you have to be married.
Gotcha. Well, like, what if you ask for forgiveness, though?
What?
What if you ask for forgiveness?
Oh, well, then you're okay. I mean, you have to do your penance after, so, pray a decade or two of the rosary, whatever it is the priest gives you. It's usually pretty easy, which makes it particularly great.
Yeah.
Dude, you're barely keeping it together.
I'm fine.
I'm not doing a hell of a lot better, but
right.
Holy shit.
So what I want to know now is, because you said, whatever the priest tells you, basically, like, do it and you'll be fine. Which, again, we can touch on again later. But what about other Christian faiths? Are there any that are okay? Is there any kind of just basic rule of thumb of getting to heaven without being a Catholic? Like, what's the big thought there?
I mean, okay, like I said earlier, the way the Catholic Church looks at it, if you are a good believer in whatever it is you believe in, so even Hindus can get in, you can get into heaven that way, right? But if you're a huckster who's just using it for your own financial gain, I almost said financial gain. If you use it for your own financial gain, and I'm looking at you, Joel Osteen, and I'm looking at you, Billy Graham, you're not going to make it. Excuse me.
You okay there?
I'm only dying. Asthma sucks.
Oh, okay. Oh, yep. Had that. So, all right. Fair enough there. So let's talk about the Son. Good old Jesus.
Okay.
First, I want to ask you, do you just call him Jesus? And if so, do you what's his Hebrew name? How do you pronounce it? I'm sure it's not you don't call God Jehovah, right? So, but
No.
right.
God is God, or if you want to go by his actual name, it'd be Yahweh.
Yeah, right. Okay. So we see the same thing there. How about Jesus then?
I mean, what about him? He's fantastic. Oh no, that's right. You asked about his name.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be Jesus, if I remember correctly, is a Middle Earth. Wow, I'm fucking this up. It's Middle Age. It's a Middle Age English translation.
Right.
So originally, his Hebrew name would have been Yeshua. And, it just, I mean, this is part of, a small problem I began to have in my later years with the Catholic Church. Because Yeshua, if you actually bring it up to its modern translation, would be Joshua.
Yes. Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, so, I mean, yes, if you look at the way we translate the word Jesus now, it means God saves, and that is applicable because he does, and so did Jesus through his sacrifice. And before we go on, this alias fake name heathen wants to know if I was an altar boy. Yes, I was for many years.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep, many years.
Many years.
Mm-hmm.
Were you born into Catholicism then? I think I've more or less asked that, but just to clarify.
I mean, I was born into a Catholic family. I was baptized, and the whole 9 yards going in. Yeah.
Okay.
But it wasn't until my teenage years that I actually got into it.
Okay. And then
Then I fell into the devilry of atheism.
it's been just a downward ever since, or?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's really probably no life worse than the atheist because you're cutting yourself off from God. And you're just asking for life to hurt at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So do you get like eggs thrown at you every day, or what's it like turning away from God?
Well, I mean, I'm a Catholic, so obviously I'm not an atheist, but I mean, life's just so miserable without the Catholic Church and God, I mean, obviously, as an atheist, I'm going to be incredibly depressed and lonely. Life's going to have no meaning. There's no objective morality to go off of. It's it just can't be good. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like there's plenty to base morality off of, and I think it's just more or less just society and.
Or I mean, you can bring up this subjectivist nonsense all you want, but it's not objective.
Right, but why does it have to be objective?
To be objective, it needs to be okay with God.
What if he's going off something subjective?
He's not. He's God. He's the ultimate everything in the universe. He's the ultimate meaning to life. He's the ultimate meaning of morality. He is everything.
But
And obviously, this God is a man because, according to the Bible, women are worth about half.
what's worth about half?
Women.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot.
Because there's only two sexes, male and female.
Mm-hmm. So, since you don't really believe in the Adam,
I want to say that's not my actual view.
That's-
Because I know someone's going to take that out of context.
yeah, yeah.
I know it's going to happen, and I don't.
You deserve that drink.
I do. That was something.
Yeah. All right. So, do you think Jesus Christ was more of a Republican or a Democrat?
Republican.
How so?
Well, okay, so reasons. I mean, okay, so we're talking to the Catholic side of me that hasn't had a chance to come out because I've been suppressing it for years. Okay, he doesn't, have the memory and the skills that he used to in this kind of argumentation. And so here's why real world, if Jesus was not the Son of God, would be a Republican. Because God can do something for nothing, right? There's no cost to anything God does. The real world has cost. So if Jesus were not the Son of God, but instead some witch doctor or whatever, some heathen, he would need something to do something. You know what I mean? So, like, there are examples throughout history of witchcraft, although witchcraft isn't really a thing anymore. That's kind of, those powers have kind of been lost to us, thankfully, because they're evil. But witches would need something to say, give sight to the blind. Something would need to be given for that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I think Jesus would be a Republican today.
Yeah.
And if he weren't himself, it is because Jesus realizes that economics are a very real thing and things cost things.
Right. So, but there's one part in the Bible where Jesus tells, I think it was a lawyer, to sell off everything he has and give it to the poor, and then he'll be ready to serve him. And that sounds a little bit commie to me. So, what's your thoughts there?
It's not that, though, because the Bible also says, blessed are the poor, for they shall inherit the earth.
True. So, I mean, well, that being said, then, do you think he favors poor people over rich people?
He might favor poor people over rich people, but hey, so does your average Joe. But there's nothing inherently wrong about being rich, although it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of the needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven. And that's on the rich man's plate. Once again, man, not woman, because half.
Right. So can women get into heaven then, even?
Of course they can.
Okay. Does it take anything extra?
I mean, I would assume it's a little easier for them since they have less value in this world. Wow. Looking back, this is reminding me how much of an actual sexist I used to be.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I look like I'm enjoying this too much.
I mean, just when we're done, play back the video of me this whole time. I'm clearly enjoying myself, but at the same time, I'm also realizing again, how much of a dick I used to be.
Oh, me. Yeah.
You know, but,
So, all right, so we'll move on from there a little bit, and we'll I'm going to talk about a few pretty much current policy issues that we kind of focus on, and
okay.
evangelicals, Catholics, I mean, religious people tend to have strong opinions about these topics. The first one will touch base on, let's go, abortion.
That's a human life. Absolutely not.
Okay. How bad is it to get an abortion?
Well, I mean, it's literally murder.
Okay. So if you get an abortion and you ask for forgiveness, everything's fine?
Yeah.
Okay. And so if you ask for forgiveness for an abortion, should other people hassle you for it? Or should you just be like, hey, I've squared this with God. Stay the F out.
I mean, how else are you supposed to be reminded of the fact that that's a human life you're about to murder? Then people standing outside of the clinic, aka abortion factory or murder factory. You know, how else are you going to do that other than standing outside, screaming at them, spitting on them, and threatening to kill them?
That's a good point. The only issue I have with that is that if you've been forgiven, well, that doesn't really sound like forgiven.
Well, I mean, they better have a priest on the inside forgiving people as they come out then. Because that's how that works. You have to go to confession first.
Okay.
And I can't think of any priest that's willing to be employed, Catholic priests anyway, Protestants, who the hell knows. Catholic priests would be, I don't think any of them would be willing to work inside an abortion clinic, aka murder factory.
You don't think you can like set that up? You don't have any priests on the inside that might want to save some souls outside the abortion clinic?
I mean, outside would be one thing, but I mean, you're not going to get one of them to go into that den of Satan.
No.
No.
Do you know any Catholics who support choice?
Unfortunately, about a third of American Catholics do.
Gotcha.
No, I'm sorry, about a third of global Catholics do. I'm not totally sure what the percentage of American Catholics is, but I'm sure it'd be considerably lower.
Okay. So do you think one of those priests would be willing to go into an abortion clinic and have them forgiven right away?
Well, one of those priests wouldn't be doing their job very well if they were okay with abortion, would they?
Well, I don't know, because what's the Pope's view on it right now? Is he like the deciding factor?
No. The deciding factor is what the Bible and the Catechism have to say. The Catholic Church is the one true arbiter of God on earth, and you know the Pope is the enforcer of that. It's the Pope's job to protect real doctrine, and the doctrine the Catholic Church has against abortion is absolutely correct. It's terrible.
Sorry, I had myself muted.
Good job. Ethan.
So, all right. Well, so that being said, that you can be forgiven for it, right? But you think it's wrong. Do you think it should be banned?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually marched in the March for Life when I was in high school.
Gotcha. Where was that?
Washington, D.C.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
And how old were you there?
Oh man, this is reaching back in history. Hmm, 15, 16, maybe. I was a young buck when it happened.
Gotcha.
I mean, literally about half my life now. Fuck, I feel old. Thanks, man.
It's that realization. All right. Well, so you think abortion should be banned, and it's absolutely no good. It's murder. But like murder, it can be forgiven.
Yeah.
So next up, then.
That's like asking me to say that murder laws should be taken off the books. Come on, man. You're better than this. Even though you were a devil worshipping atheist, you're better than this.
Do you think atheists do worship the devil? Do you think
I'm sure some do.
Say what?
I'm sure some do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't. So if that makes you more comfortable, you can take
Well, the devil also isn't a deity either.
oh, what is he then?
He's an angel, which is still a seriously powerful celestial being, but it's not almighty. And God, by definition, is almighty.
So what do you think his play in all this is? Because he's just like an archangel, right? Like a fallen archangel. So
he was actually the angel God's favored, until he allowed his pride to get in front of it.
mm-hmm.
See, angels, unlike humans, angels are given one chance. And the angels that chose to stand with Lucifer chose hell when they inevitably lost, and they were going to lose. But and really quick, breaking character. Atheist joke boy, there were Satanists back in the 80s and even today that are atheists because it's mostly an atheistic religion. So it makes sense. It's just weird.
Yeah.
But getting back into character, what were we talking about?
What's Satan's play in all this? Because there's this prophecy which he's got to know about.
Well, I mean, it's in the Bible, and the Bible's been in print for a long, long time.
Right, and is he on Earth or is he locked up in heaven?
You mean hell?
Yeah, yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the devil himself can actually possess anyone because God locked him away in hell as a punishment. But Satan's demons absolutely can infect people and possess them and cause them to do things.
But what do you think his end game is, though? Since he's got to know he's going to lose. Why is he still doing this?
Because he's a rebellious dick. He wants at every turn to give the middle finger to his father, and that's exactly what it is.
And taking as many of his loyal children as he possibly can is the biggest fuck you to the big guy upstairs.
As many people as the devil can hurt is better for him.
Okay. Because then
you might know he's going to lose, but that doesn't mean he's not going to fight.
Yeah.
I mean, you see real world examples of that all the time.
Like what?
Well, take a look in the Middle East. They know they're going to lose to the United States, and yet there they are fighting.
Okay. Is it just pretty much every Middle Eastern country that's kind of screwed, or what's your litmus?
I mean, like everyone, they have the ability for salvation. They just can't go around lopping people's heads off for not agreeing with their hokey fake religion. Now, when the Catholic Church did that, it was okay because the Catholic Church is actually true.
Yeah. Sorry, I got stuck. So, well, uh, a lot of Muslims go by more or less the same Old Testament that we do, like the Christians. I'm sorry, Christians and Catholics do. So when they're lopping off heads, it's pretty much for the same stuff that God tells the Muslims to do it for. So, do you think if they're doing it to follow the same words that are in the Bible, it's okay?
No, because they're not doing it for the Bible. Look, okay, so the name that the Jews have for the Old Testament, I want to say is the Tanakh. I could be wrong. But
Okay.
for everything after that, with the Quran, the Hadith, and all that vile nonsense that they practice, and both me's mean that the Quran and the Hadith are fucked up. I mean, we're talking about a religion that obviously advocates for violence when belief isn't willingly given. And once again, when the Catholic Church did exactly the same thing in the Inquisitions and the Crusades, there it is. I'm not sure why that word eluded me for a second.
It's all right.
It's different because they were doing that in the name of God.
All right. Well, I'm glad we got that cleared up.
And the heathen Christy Santiago has a question.
Yes.
Catholic men, are they okay with lesbians, or are lesbos icky? Technically, lesbos are icky, but if I'm being on the DL, it's kind of hot. Although I have to go to confession for admitting that.
Right, but I mean, we're not going to tell anyone here. This is a pretty safe place.
You socialists in your safe spaces. Why can't you be real men and just buck up and, act like men? And
Well, I mean, as a libtard, I can't do that.
libtards.
I'm sorry.
I will say this. I think even at my most Catholic, I would have thought the maggots were worse.
Oh, really?
Oh, no, dude. Okay, so let me put it to you this way. I was about as right-wing as Bush, and I can't stand Trump. First of all, Trump's an idiot. Second of all,
He's pretty dumb.
Second of all, Trump is just awful. I mean, okay, so he in no way takes, and is as against open-ended immigration as I am, he takes it too far, because the Bible does say to treat the sojourner in your land better than you treat your own. Trump absolutely refuses to do that. In fact, he actively does the opposite.
He does. So then would you
So
even...
much so that at least 6 children have died in federal custody. It's disgusting.
It is. It really is. We can agree on that. Would you even consider Trump a Republican?
I would consider Trump a moron that needs to be sent to jail for the rest of his short-ass life. Who has also probably committed treason against this country.
And
I'm nothing if not consistent. I hated Bill Clinton for dodging the draft, and I hate Trump for doing exactly the same thing. Especially when I had the testicular fortitude to stand up.
There you go. Fair enough.
Also, maybe slightly a little bit of the real me is coming up here because I genuinely do hate Trump that much.
Yeah. And I won't go into that anymore because that will take a whole nother hour. But yeah.
It literally will. I could go on for an hour.
Oh, yeah.
From what I know of that heathen Christy Santiago, she could go on for days.
she could go on for days. Another topic that I wanted to touch base on with you. Oh, wow, I'm blurry.
Don't worry, I'm blurry too.
Yeah, I'm blurriest right now. So, that being said, how do you feel about gay people? I'm up real close.
I mean, look, here's the thing. You have to hate the sin but love the sinner. Right? So, as vile and frankly disgusting as the things they do are, it's not their fault. Right? They actually are the way that they are, but what they're called to do by God is resist that. They need to resist the urge to give in to their gay temptations and not gay with each other. So it really, if anything, they're called to a life of prayer and celibacy. Which is what they should do. Or I mean, it's asking someone to fight their nature, but they should try to get married to a woman or man, if we're talking about a lesbian, and have children.
Well, what if well, you believe that it is natural? It's a natural occurrence?
In the perverted fallen world we live in, yes.
Okay. And if there wasn't so much sin, it wouldn't have happened, or what's your thoughts? Is this something that God wills for another test, or is this just a product of sin?
I mean, for the fallen world, it might be a test. It might. I mean, I don't really fall on the spectrum of believing that things happen because of sin. Sometimes the world just sucks. This is a fallen world, and things just sort of happen, because we don't live in that perfect world anymore. You know what I mean? So yeah, it happens naturally, but they're still called to resist it.
Okay. Questions in the chat concerning this are: what if they're gay with others, and can gay people go to heaven?
Of course, gay people can go to heaven if they resist those temptations, or if they fall prey to them, which they probably will because they're human. They go to confession.
Okay. And then how do you feel about trans people as well?
Oh, those people are just trying to reject what God made them to be. It's sick, really. I mean, they're perverting God's perfect creation and saying, "No, I know better." That's just wrong.
Okay, so is that something that's super duper not natural then?
Yeah. I mean, at most or at least it's a mental disease.
Yeah. So is that something
that not a reflection of my actual thoughts?
Right. Getting heavy, guys.
I mean, I know this whole series of yours is satire, but I still feel this weird need to say it.
Yeah, and I mean, I would.
I did used to have these really fucked up beliefs. Like, I'm saying a lot of shit tonight, but I used to believe it once upon a time.
Yeah, and I mean, me too. A lot of the same things here were part of my old beliefs. So, but that said, we're not to stick on that one too much. I think we pretty much get the gist. But well, can all trans go to heaven as long as they ask forgiveness?
If they ask forgiveness and they do their penance, yeah.
Okay. All right. If there's any more questions from the chat, go ahead and put them in there now. Atheist Joke Boy wants to know, what about people who are born intersex?
What about them?
Is that just kind of being sorry, I got a hashtag. Is that natural? Is that I mean, if they're born intersex?
I mean, it's natural, but okay, so my understanding of the way intersex works is that, you know, the parents weigh what the child is the most between intersex, because there is only a binary, and they go with that, you know, and it's from then on it's on the child to live out the way the parents chose. Otherwise, it's a sick perversion.
Okay. So, well, do you think there's a chance that the parents could choose wrong?
I mean, yeah, technically, but
So if the parents choose wrong, should that person be allowed to try to convert to a different sex or not conform to this binary?
they should try to conform as well as they can
How long should they try?
their whole lives.
Their whole lives? Okay. Well, thank you for clearing that one up. I appreciate it. Let's see. So one of the things I wanted to touch base on real quick is there's a scandal, more or less, I'm sure you're aware of, with Catholic priests and bishops who do inappropriate things with kids.
Okay, I know exactly where you're going, and I'm going to stop you. Okay. That is roughly 1% of priests. So, you know, it's not nearly the epidemic that people like you are making it out to be. Right? So, I mean, it's a problem, yes, and the Catholic Church needs to do something about those priests. But what we need to do at the same time is trust the Catholic higher ups that actually have the power to remove these people.
So, do you think these priests should? Do you think they're going to make it to heaven? One.
I mean, that totally depends if they seek contrition and they actually mean it. If they don't, they're going to hell.
So how do you know?
They have a chance.
How do you know if they mean it, though?
Well, I won't. God will know, because God's the ultimate judge.
So what should we do with them if I'm sorry, what should we do in the meantime? Like, because they're like, we're not just gonna like chop their heads off, right? So
we should do what the Catholic Church proposes and allow them to investigate internally and decide who actually is a threat, and trust the Catholic Church to deal with it from there.
Gotcha. So just let the church deal with it?
Yeah. You know, I mean, what's the saying? Kill them all, let God sort them out, except don't kill them, because Catholicism is a religion of peace. Oh, no, Utah Outcast, this is Utah Outcast, this is a parody show. This is not serious.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
at the church.
yeah. They usually don't make it to my live
I'm
show.
not usually this good at parody.
So no, it's okay. So I'll go ahead and explain real quick because you're not usually here, and I appreciate that you're here. Really appreciate it. Glad you guys are here. So an atheist flashback is where I interview an atheist as as their former religious self. And yes, I understand. Holy shit, dude, you almost had me getting really fucking super mad. And I understand. That's why he has a drink. So, so yeah, this is basically to show the idea for the show. So newcomers know is one, to kind of self-reflect on what you used to believe, and two, kind of kill that that no true Scotsman fallacy for anyone who wants to see any of our content creators. Like, no, they believe this stuff. No, they knew what the narrative was. No, they read it. Stuff like that. So thank you for joining in. Thank you very much. But yes, sorry we worried you there.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so once again, because apparently, I'm guessing this is X, because
Probably.
as far as I know, X is the one that actually runs the Utah Outcast channel. I really did at one point believe these things that I'm saying, but yeah, I in no way believe these things. I've offered a couple course corrects, where I've said I actually don't believe this shit, because I actually felt kind of bad repeating my old beliefs. But no, I don't actually believe this shit. It's all a show for, this parody bit where, I kind of turn up what I used to be.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, now I feel bad that I actually was that convincing. Holy shit.
You're okay. You're okay. He's like, got it. Play on. Well, we're about done. We were gonna see if there were any more questions, and I got one. I'm pretty sure from Christy. Yeah, she said because we know that intersex is something that happens to mammals. Is that proof that God makes mistakes?
No, of course not. Look, the way God designed everything was perfect, right? No flaws at all in the design. It's just that, that something happened somewhere in human history and things got fucked up. And unfortunately, because we're the ones that somehow started it, we have to live with the consequences. And this intersex thing is one of those things. But once again, like I said earlier, the parents weigh their options. They pick which they think is more prevalent in the child they just gave birth to, and they go with that. And then it's on the child to live that way for the rest of their lives.
Right, because you had said earlier that because I asked how long should they try, right?
Their whole lives.
Whole lives. So the another question we had was if the church changed its doctrine on abortion, would it be okay?
It depends. Well, I mean, the church isn't going to change its doctrine on abortion, but I mean, we're talking about the murder of a full human being, right? It's not just a clump of cells. It can feel pain from a very early stage. If I remember Yes, Brantley, this is parody.
He was playing.
It,
He knows. He knows.
apparently, I'm really good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, abortion is murder. You know, you are literally killing human cells, and that's like the only thing that means anything.
Okay. Another thing he wanted to know about was how do you feel about Martin Luther?
Oh, that traitor. That traitor and his 99 theses that split the Catholic Church in two and then into several other pieces.
What was the main thing that you disagreed with?
The fact that he split the Catholic Church, and by the way, on his deathbed, Martin Luther recanted, or wished he could recant.
Oh, gotcha. Do you think he's in heaven now?
No.
No?
The damage he did to the Catholic Church, there's no way. The amount of damage he did to the one true church, he's screwed.
Okay. Yeah, because you said if you blaspheme or damage the church, that's unforgivable, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to back it up just a little bit to where we were talking about the issue currently going on with the Catholic Church, because you said that we should leave it to the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
So, do you think that puts them above the law?
No. I'm not saying they're above the law. What I'm saying is the Catholic Church, as the guiding light of civilization for the last 1,500 years, they should be allowed to investigate themselves, and when they find a priest that's actually done these things, they should turn this person over to whatever secular authorities if they so choose.
Okay. So then, do you believe in a separation of church and state?
Not of the Catholic Church and state.
No. Do you think the Catholic Church should be over the state?
Yes.
Yeah.
We are talking about one of the largest American religious demographics, right? The American Catholics actually, if I remember correctly, currently just even just barely, but they still dwarf atheists in the United States. So yeah, the Catholic Church absolutely should be able to put them under thumb.
Sorry again, I muted myself. I wasn't trying to talk. I was trying not to cut you off. I was looking up a pie chart real quick of religious demographics here in America. It looks like it's about 5%, I think, of America, and that's just one pie chart I've seen. So it's not super huge. Let's look at another one here. Oh, I can't look at that one because it's not
Utah, I guess. Wait, someone said pie.
Yeah.
Cracked me up.
If I could patch that out, I would. So yeah. Anyways, yes, it looks like it's a decently small amount. But since it is a small amount, do you think still that they should be over?
Yes, because we're talking about the one true religion.
Gotcha. So do you not really believe in democracy then?
I absolutely believe in democracy.
Okay. So
I just think the Catholic Church should be able to impose its will on other people.
Okay. That seems a little bit monarchy to me.
It's not, though, because we're talking about the institution that has the truth, right? I mean, obviously you're a communist, so you would prefer that people that share your beliefs have something that resembles ultimate power in this country, right? Of course you do. What am I talking about? Why am I waiting for an answer? You would prefer that a communist be able to wield absolute executive authority in this country. Well, there's nothing true about communism, particularly because they're all atheists. But the Catholic Church actually has the truth on its side. So it's not at all the same to call it a dictatorship or even a theocracy, because it's true.
Yeah, well, one thing I want to push back on just a little bit is Hitler was a Catholic, right? And one of his first alliances he had in World War II was with the Catholic Church.
That is only so the majority of the Catholic hierarchy could survive to escape.
Do you think that was morally right to do?
I mean, we're talking about the one true religion. It had to survive. And a small lie in service of the truth is not a bad thing.
Do you think they needed to survive that way, or do you think God would have just protected them if
I mean, God could have protected them, but we're talking about a fallen world where God hasn't involved himself very actively since the days of Jesus.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Oh, by the way, I feel really honored. I almost got X to barf. That's cheers, sir.
One true religion.
I damn near got you to barf. I'm kind of proud of that, weirdly.
So, all right. Well,
Mac, if you have a Patreon, you need to link it to these people.
Yeah, I'm trying to wait until I get to 500 subs before I open a Patreon. That was my goal. So I'm going to stick with it until I get to 500. And hey, I'm only about 70 away. So
there you go.
I'm getting there. I
mean, I think with this, you might just get there because the people seem to be loving it.
Yeah.
Yes, take X's advice. Don't do that. Start now. Start a Patreon now. By which I mean immediately after this broadcast. And
Hold on, people. I got to pause this. Send me money. No, well, Leah has a Patreon. So while I'm waiting to get to my 500, if you really like this show and you like anything about the Leah podcast, the League of Extraordinary Atheists for Humanism, if you haven't subbed there, please do, because Nacha helps with that, and Christy's my co-host. So go there for now if you want to donate to anything I do. And
which I was on a few nights ago.
And Brantley has that link there. Thank you. And Ben was there. So, shameless plug. It's myself on my channel. It's okay. I can plug.
Shameless or steamless? Sorry, my inner grammar Nazi came out.
No, you're cool. You're fine. So, anyways, this has been fun. I'm gonna stop it pretty much here because we have like 10 more outlets that we could just go on, but we don't really need to. And we are at the hour and a half mark, which is great. So we can go ahead and cool it now. Thank you, everyone, so much for coming on and watching tonight. Utah Outcast, sorry we scared the fuck out of you. Sorry.
I feel like I should be the one apologizing for that.
No, you're fine. I'm the one who put you through it. So,
well, I mean, I'm the one that really sold it.
So, real quick, what's your beer count?
Well, I mean, I'm not quite finished with this yet, and this is 64 ounces, so about 5 out of a 6-pack.
All right, fair enough. Again, thank you for coming on. Do you want to plug your channel real quick, and then we'll sign off?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me on.
Of course.
But I am BMillzebub, and I'm out of character now.
Yeah.
I run an atheist YouTube channel here on YouTube, and I mostly go after the Catholic Church. And as much as I've had some Catholics try to say that I don't know what I'm actually talking about, I was Catholic at one point. I was going to be a priest at one point, and I have the big book of doctrine of the Catholic Church on my side, sort of.
So if they want to argue with you, they can argue with their own doctrine.
Yeah, and their own doctrine kind of screws them with their pants on. A lot.
Which, as I said before, is the worst kind of screw. Also the worst part of high school. What? But so what?
We all know Mac was the guy that dry humped in the hallway.
No, I really loved algebra. It was a really.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay.
So, anyways, I lied. I didn't love algebra. Thank you, Ben, for coming on again. This is fantastic. Thank you, chat, for being on here and staying on for as long as you did. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful night. I hope to see you again on Thursday. I have a surprise show, actually. Ricky Gantz. If you haven't seen him on Facebook, trying to start some arguments. He's a Christian. He has a radio show. He's going to broadcast as I broadcast here on Great Skeptic, going over what he believes and why I should believe it. So that will be an interesting show. And then I'll be back on Leon Friday and here with X-Cult Baby on next Tuesday, 10:30 p.m. So I hope to see you all there. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. And good night.
See you, everybody.